So, before I do this review on the Night Creeper, I thought we'd do some G.I. Joe ninja history. In 1982, Snake Eyes came out, but he was a commando Snake Eyes. And although he was sometimes alluded to as being a martial arts specialist and a ninja in the comic back then, he was never actually announced that way until his 1985 release that came with Timber. But even before that, there was 1984 Storm Shadow who came out. That's the ninja here that everybody knows. And there's his card art, which is totally great. But yeah, so the first one was really Storm Shadow, 1984. And even Firefly came out. And although he wasn't actually a ninja at that time, he was a saboteur. A lot of us in the schoolyard, we wondered if he was a ninja because he just kind of looked that way. And it turned out later on in the comics that he was. But yeah, anyway, the next ninja that was released was the 85 one that I just talked about, Snake Eyes. And as you can see, he came with Timber. There's Timber there. And that was a 1985 release. And then in 87, we got Jinx. And then in 88, we got an updated Storm Shadow, who was a G.I. Joe. He joined the G.I. Joes by then. And there's a 89 Snake Eyes, who was also a later ninja released. And that kind of leads us up to this one, which is 1990 Night Creeper. So I have a few of them here, and I like displaying them like that because Night Creeper was actually not a singular character. They're actually a group of ninjas that Cobra Commander hires to do some jobs and some dirty work. So it's a good idea to have a few of them because in all actuality, there were probably about 12 to 20 of these guys. And they were rumored to be an old ninja clan, kind of like a descendant of the Arashikage that Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are a part of. So yeah, I just like having three here. But anyway, we can have a look at the figure. And it's composed of like a maroon color, almost a purple, with grays and silvers. And they have these camo pants that are gray, dark gray, and maroon. And I like the figure because it's not too crazy, like it's not too much going on. Because ninjas traditionally, didn't have too much going on. They were assassins and kind of didn't want to be seen, so it would make sense that they look like that. You can see the back of his head. He has some cool headgear, like a kind of like some kind of a hood that covers the back of his head. And the camo's on the back of the pants as well. And his goggles are pretty cool. Like some silver type goggles. And he came with this crossbow. Two different swords. One's like a barbed sword, and one's a Chris sword, it's called. Here's the Chris sword. It has kind of a curvy pattern. And the barbed sword has these little barbs on it, as you can see. And you can pick a sword to go into the backpack here. Pretty simple accessories, but again, because he's a ninja, I kind of appreciate that. And you can see the box art here, or rather the card art. And in 1990, it was $2.79 US at, I don't know if I can read that, Child World, Children's Place. And it's pretty good art. You can see it says codename Night Creeper, Cobra Ninja. And we'll flip it around back and have a look at the file card. So here is the back of the card. And like all other 1980s and early 90s G.I. Joes, it has little photos of all the guys that you could get that year and from the previous year. So this one consists of 1989 and 1990 guys. And you can see here that Night Creeper is right here. And the last guy that I ever got myself was 1990 Salvo. And there he is there. I wasn't lucky enough to have a Night Creeper because I was pretty much out of G.I. Joe by then. But yeah, another one of my favorites from this year is a Saw Viper. This guy here. Because he's in the comic and he's a pretty interesting character. And then, of course, I really like the Night Viper, the Alley Viper, Snake Eyes, and Rock and Roll. You know, a bunch of other guys I like. But when 1990 came around, I was sort of done with it. But yeah, anyway, we can read his file card now. It says, Codename Night Creeper. Cobra Ninja. Captured Cobra documents revealed the existence of a contract between Cobra Commander and a syndicate of high-tech ninjas. It is believed that these so-called Night Creepers have been given the task of conducting a field intelligence and covert operations for Cobra. All investigations into the structure and origin of the Night Creepers have run into dead ends, or resulted in the mysterious disappearance of the investigators. All evidence seems to indicate that the Night Creepers have the drive and scruples of a Wall Street stock manipulator, the lethal skills of a master martial artist, and the stealthy talents of a cat burglar. To make matters worse, they're backed by the latest and most sophisticated anti-detection and weapons technology in the world. It's as if Attila the Hun had a black belt, an MBA, and was armed with lasers. Before I forget, I was going to mention that a really significant thing about 1990 was that the G.I. Joe lettering on the packaging changed. And it was no longer a bubble, kind of a thick bubble lettering. It was a little bit more condensed, as you can see on the packaging here. And of course, the original 1982 to 1985 or 86 G.I. Joe was like a flat G.I. Joe lettering. And then, from like 86 to 89, it changed a little bit. And then from 1990 onward, it looked like this. The character makes his first appearance in G.I. Joe Marvel comic number 107. And he wasn't in the Sumbo animated series cartoon because the series was already gone by then. Because this was in 1990, of course. And this is a really good issue. And from what I recall, I think it's actually titled Night Creepers. And here it is here. It says, Enter the Night Creepers. They're there in the bottom there, kneeling before Cobra Commander. I'll just kind of go through the panels here, and you guys can take a look. As you can see here, it came out in December 1990. And you can see that Cobra Commander is making a deal there with them. Just love the artwork in these G.I. Joe comics. And they're always just so consistent and just very entertaining. Here's Storm Shadow and Stalker. Storm Shadow is a G.I. Joe, of course, by then. So he's teamed up with Stalker. But you can see that they're depicted as being like a group, kind of like a team of ninjas. One thing I really like about it is kind of gives some mystery to them, and it seems totally that Cobra Commander would hire a group like this, kind of like how he hired the mercenary Major Blood, and he had Storm Shadow doing his dirty work for a lot of years. Zartan, who Destro hated, but he had Zartan doing a lot of stuff for him. So it just kind of fits right in line with it, of the way that Cobra Commander is. You can see that Storm Shadow here is kind of kicking their butt. All these issues I recommend picking up if you're a Joe fan, because they never disappoint. And to me, they're much more in depth than the cartoon ever was. They give so much more backstory to the individuals. Not that I don't like the cartoon. I do. I really like the cartoon. But for me, I just really enjoy the Larry Hama books, the 1980s ones, that much more. When I was out with my wife today, we were looking at getting some plants and trees and stuff for the summer coming up, like to do some planting here in the spring. Actually came across this, which it was pretty cool because I didn't expect to see it. Generally, I don't really collect any newer G.I. Joe stuff. I do have some classifieds, like I have, I think, 6 or 7 of the Cobra Infantry, and the Snake Eyes and Timber set. But when we were at a store, I saw this guy, and if you look closer at him, he actually looks a lot like a 1990 Night Creeper. And it's pretty cool, and I just had to get it because there were other guys there, like for this particular toy. It's like a Snake Eyes movie toy, and it's kind of designed for kids. I don't know if you can see the depiction there, but this guy swivels around and his hips, and he can move. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of like a movie toy, except that I don't believe that the Night Creeper is actually in the movie. But anyway, yeah, like there was a Snake Eyes one and a Storm Shadow one and a Baroness one, but they all look kind of silly and like totally for kids, which is fine. But this guy here, he actually looked to me like a Night Creeper. So I was doing a review on the Night Creeper, and I had it planned all week because I actually picked one of these up from a guy on Kijiji just so I could have a few of them. And so it's kind of funny that when we were out today, I saw this. And he actually comes with the same weapons. I don't know if you can see that. He's got the crossbow. He's got the 2 swords. I mean, not the Chris sword or the barbed one, which would have been cool, but pretty close. And on the back, there's a picture of him. So he's definitely my favorite of this series, this kids series, we'll call it. I think they're like a 5-inch figure or something. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, he's definitely my favorite one just because he's kind of a unique kind of character that I just didn't really expect them to make. And he even had his pants, that gray color. It's not the camo, but it's pretty close to the original 1990. And I really like that when they do that because it makes it that much better. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.